Good morning, traders. I think we're live already on YouTube. Somebody give me a yes if you can hear me and if you can see the screen. Just type a yes so I know that it's clear and you guys can see and hear everything. That's a long delay with getting the yeses. So the YouTube delay is much longer than using Zoom link. Okay, finally I got it. Thank you. It means I think there's about a 20 seconds delay. Okay, guys, hope all of you did well. Hope some of you managed to get these drops because we predicted those drops. They didn't go exactly the way we predicted, not from this drop here. They actually went one up and then came down. But if you got it, you did amazing. I think this was the only setback. We didn't put this one on. Had we put this on, the entry would have been under this low because we did that previously when you have a channel. I think I told you guys about that if you're paying attention. When we have channels, we put the entry under the low or above the last drop if it's a down channel or if it's an up channel. It is mentioned in one of those videos. So if you miss it, go back and watch all those videos. I told you how we trade channels, right? So this was a channel. This was the only one that had a channel. The rest of them were mostly running flats. Like you can see, you notice I have a running flat here, right? Not a channel. This was a correction, not really a channel as such. This one turned out to be a running flat here. It went, it made a new high, but this could have been a sell, or if you knew, you would have put the entry here for the sell. But some of my traders did get this trade because they were more prepared for it. I hope some of you got it as well. Great. So, okay. So with that said, let's start. Before we start, two announcements very quick. One is that I've been contacted by the company with the company is in Dubai, and it's called Funded Next. They give accounts out. So I can show you their website now that we've had an agreement with them. I think I can show you their website. This is their website where you're going to go and you're going to look at the accounts they give. So they give funded accounts, right? The traders. These are the accounts, and they will give me a code this afternoon for you. If anybody of any of our followers want to get an account, you will get a 10% discount on any of these accounts. Plus, if you come this afternoon, let me use the red here for this. If you come this afternoon, we were going to give out one of this account for free. If you come tomorrow, we have 3 more sessions remaining this week. In each one of those sessions, there's going to be one of this account giving away free. So this is how it's going to work. I just spoke to them. For you to get a free account, they will give me a link. You will, during the webinar, I will give you, at the start of the webinar, I'll give you guys the link, and you need to register during the webinar or just after the webinar. Let's say so, right? Because we will only give 1 hour after the webinar for that to register. So if you are here, it would be better to register during the webinar, maybe a little after if you finish, no problem. An hour after the webinar, everybody who registered from the start to the end of an hour after the webinar will have access, will randomly choose 1 person for the gift. So 3 giveaway accounts, right? Free. If this works well, they promised me if this works well, which means if a lot of people register and if they think that it's worth, doing this, every week they're going to give away 2 accounts to you guys. So every week I will do a live session. And during that session, those who come to the session, the live session, will have access to getting one of those 2 free accounts. So 2 people will be chosen for it. I think that is amazing. That's a good help for you. It doesn't matter even if you have your own account. If you have a 10,000 or 15,000 or 20,000 account, having a second free account to trade with is good. Now, you will still follow the rules and the criteria in here, so you may want to go and check it up on their website, right? You will still have to follow the rules of it, but you don't have to pay for it. The payment is off. So the payment for an account like this is $119. You're getting that for free, which is good, right? I think that's good help for you guys. So it took a long negotiation on my side to make it happen for you. But it happened, and they're willing to do it. I think what they're giving me is something they haven't given to any new person they work with. And this is the first time they're working with me to do that. And this is the first time I'm working with any company to do. Remember, very long ago, I had with one of them that was giving 3 months free to the guys. We give 3 months free to those guys, and they never paid, so we forget about them. I think these guys are reliable. You're getting a free account, so it can be worse than that, right? There's nothing that can be here. They're really good, reliable guys. I spoke to them, and it seems like they're really serious about getting traders on board. So let's see how it goes. This afternoon, I'll get the live account. Make sure you invite your friends. I know, of course, it's now tough to get you to tell you to invite friends because that's more people, right? The choices for you are going to be less. But hey, if you're coming here all the time and, more people come, no problem. If you do it on a weekly basis, by the end of the year, a lot of you will have it. So if they're giving away two by the end of the year, over 100 accounts will be given away. Plus, you can take an account for 10% discount. And they will eventually give more discounts. They will have special discounts on their site every now and then. You can always check it. Right? So with that said, let's move on. Let me take this out and let's move on now, right? This afternoon, please come. Don't miss it this afternoon. Okay, so let's start. And those who watch this webinar also, please join this afternoon so you will have access to that. If you do have the account and you would like me to help you with how we're going to set up money management and how you're going to set up risk management and all of that, then you might also want to access my group, at least as an installment trader if you can't afford the course immediately, which means if you pay $100, we will give you access to the end of February. It doesn't matter if you had paid before, because we had promotion before and some traders would take that promotion, only the promotion, and they never really come back. A lot of them stayed on, but some just wanted the 2 months and they didn't want to pay $100 for the rest of it. If you paid that one time and you want to take it again, no problem, you will still have $200 with us. What that means is if you do decide to continue to the cost of the course, your money will add up. I can tell you a few people did that and their money add up, because a few people had a couple $100 with us, and then after a few months they were gone and they came back and they were surprised to realize that they have more money now in the account, and that money will add up until you reach the cost of the course, and then you will get access for life for free. Right? So I hope that is clear to everybody. You can join, you can get it, you will still get the 2-month access. And if you paid once, this will be your second payment. You will still have $200 there. And whenever you do decide to continue to get the course, you will get it. Right? So I hope you make money. If you get a free account and you get a course, you're going to make money. You can do well. Let's start. So this yesterday, I want to show this again because yesterday, I remember I told you, if you missed it, go back and watch the webinar. I clearly tell you there's a very good chance that this is going to drop, and it might drop really fast. Right? It did go up and then drop. So this would not be your entry. Your entry could either have been here if you knew that it was going to drop or you were there to see it drop, or very rarely we would put it under the last impulse in this case, but not on this one. On this one, I would not put it under the last impulse. You know which one I put under the last impulse? I'll show you which one. We would have put the US 30 under the last impulse. And the difference is because it's a channel, right? When we trade channels like this, or an ending diagonal, if you want to call it that, but I don't think it's an ending, there's more really of a channel there, right? Ending diagonal structurally is a little different. So this would have been a perfect drop for you. Close your trade here, take the profit. Now we'll be looking for buy setups. Now this is not I'm not looking at this as a possible running flat or so here, right? I'm still looking at this as a possible channel or ending diagonal. That means this one could still go more down. But NASDAQ and S&P 500 are going to go up. So I think these are going to go up, which means anytime we get a flag here, we'll be buying. This one should go up because this is a running flat. I'm still looking at this as a running flat. So any flag here you get, this would have been a buy if you were there, but since you're not there, wait for another flag buy. This is the only one of the three that hasn't broken the top. US 30 and NASDAQ broke the top already, the weekly top. This is a weekly top. This is coming from the weekly top. If I can bring it to the weekly, you'll see that. See, this is coming from that weekly top. This one didn't break the top. This one broke the top. See? We broke the top and this one broke the top. Now what that means? That means that two things. Either this was all the correction and this is going to continue to go, or this at some point starts to come back and we get a bigger consolidation. You don't have to know which one it's going to be. And this is the most important thing about wave analysis. You don't have to know which one it's going to be. Right? Let me repeat that because traders get it wrong with wave analysis. You do not have to know whether it's going to come down back or whether it's going to continue to go up. What you need to know is the possibility of this existing based on the patterns that you have. And then you wait for the confirmation of it. I think I have to repeat that again because there's a lot of traders out there talking nonsense and don't have an idea what we do. You need to know that based on this pattern, that is a possibility. You need to know why that is a possibility, what pattern you expect to happen, how it's going to structure itself. And then you wait for the confirmation to prove that, okay, that possibility is about to happen. And then you have a strategy that is going to execute to take the trade and see whether it goes. So let's say you think, okay, this thing is going to drop. And then you get a setup for it to drop. And then you put an entry and then it goes and it tags you and it goes a little more down, but then instead of dropping, it starts coming up back. And this is where you become a trader now. Before that, you're an analyst. Now you become a trader because your job is to manage that trade and make sure that that trade does not become a loss. And even if it becomes a loss, it becomes a much smaller loss than the loss you initially wanted to take. So if your stop loss was 100 pips and you close it for 20 pips, excellent, you're a pro trader. If your stop loss was 100 pips and you end up getting 100 pips, well, you might still be a good trader, right? It doesn't mean that you're a bad trader, but then if you didn't see it, or if there was a possibility to close it earlier and you didn't, well, then yeah, you're a struggling trader. You need to learn to become a pro trader. That will be the difference between you saying I'm a good trader and, I make winning trades, because winning trades anybody can make, right? It's about how do you take care of the bad trades that you have. And guess what makes you lose your account? It's not your winning trades that make you lose your account. It's the losing trade, right? The ones that didn't go. So if you learn to manage the ones that didn't go and wouldn't go and are not going, if you can manage those, then you will not lose your account. Because the whole reason you lose your account is not because you didn't make a winning trade. I think every losing account made a lot of winning trades. It's not the winning trades is your problem. Your problem is the losing trades that you didn't know what to do with, how to manage them correctly. So just go back and take a losing account and just imagine for a second, or you could even check it. Take all the losing trades off and reduce them to, I don't know, break even or minus half of what they were. So half of what you lost, or even a break even. Take 50% break even and 50% half of what you lost. And then you would see the difference in that account. That account would be a live account, surviving good, going well, and you'll probably be trading it still. So what's the difference? The difference is you've learned to manage the bad accounts, the bad trades that are not going. And that is what is going to make you a professional trader, right? So if you learn to do that, then you become a winner. Then you start winning. And the problem is most people are trying to tell you how to make a winning trade, not what to do with the bad trades, how to manage them. Most of them say, well, let them go and take out your stop loss. No, that's not good. That might be the ultimate stop for it if you have a stop loss there. But that's not what will make you a pro. A pro is to see that it's not going to go and get rid of it way before that. So that's what we teach you to do in our group. So with that said, let's go. Let's start from the dollar index. Dollar index, still consolidating, still possible upsides, right? But if you notice what happened, remember, let's start with Monday. Monday, we were in here. And I said, guys, we're not going to do anything in here because their chances are it will come and it will tag this low. And when it tags that low, let me go to the yellow. When it tags this low, I'll put an entry here. So should it go back up, we'll be in this trade. And then it went a little lower and it started to do that. I said, if we get a flag here, we'll buy it. We never got a flag. It started to do this. And I was like, okay, let's leave this because this might come back here and this one is going to drop and break this low, right? Well, if you're making so much consolidation in here, guess what happens? This becomes the impulse. So you're going to get another impulse here, and then now we're going to go down. See? It's pretty easy. So I can tell you now that what I expect this to be is a flat and downside. Now, how complex that flat is going to be? Well, it's already very complex. You have two corrections inside. You have this correction, and you're making a bigger one here. And then this is going to drop, break this low. And then the chances are when you break that low, you're going back up to break this top. And then then we will look for a sell setup. What if it comes and it breaks this low? And then go back up. It's still a flat, only now I would think running flat, maybe expanding flat. So if it comes and it break this low, should we buy this one? Absolutely, that is a good trade. I would buy it. Should we sell this to the downside? Well, here is where it becomes complicated. You can sell it. You have to know two things. One is that as soon as it breaks this low, you have to start managing that trade. Because when it breaks that low, it could reverse really fast. And you're going to be in a huge problem trying to manage it. So you have to know where you're going to put your stop, which means you can't put your stop here and your stop even can't be here because nobody says that it doesn't break this low, go break that top and then drop. So if you put a stop here or you put a stop here, forget about it. You can lose that. See? So you know that. Now you know that possibility. So you're thinking, well, I can't use those as stops. I have to figure out a different way to trade this. So a different way to trade this is to do a smaller trade. Get a flag here, trade this flag with a stop here, and as soon as this flag drop here, take profit or move your stop really tight into break even or into profit. Now that calls for an extra skill level. That's called for a skill level that is a little above average in wave analysis. Because you would have to see that that flag is actually the flag you want to trade and it's not going to change into something else, right? And if should that flag not go, it calls for management within this range, not only within this range here now, but within this range. And that means your skill level has to go up much higher. Managing in this range, you can be at a skill level here. Managing in that range, your skill level has to be here. So the higher your skill level in wave analysis, the more trades you can take, the more accurate you'll be, the easier it'll be to manage them. The least you know about it, or the less you know, the less your skill level, the more you have to wait for a solid trade. So I would say don't sell this if you're a newbie, if you don't have any good knowledge of it. Don't try to sell that. Let it happen. Let it come break this low. We will try to buy that together. This one would be an easy one, right? We'll try to buy that. And then definitely that would be the easiest. Now, here's the thing. It might not do that. It might not make that pattern. That is the simplest pattern I'm showing you, but not necessarily that that is the pattern it will make. But as it changes, we're going to see what the pattern is changing through and what we will do with it. Just like this one, right? This one, we were looking for a buy here because we thought it's going to do 1, 2, 3, and then go back up. And that is okay. That's a normal pattern. We've seen that like a million times. But when it dropped here and it did this, that changes everything. It changes to coming here and then go back up there. And that could change to come here, make another one here, like this, and then do another 1, 2, 3 here, and then go back there, and then we have a big flat like this, and then we drop. See, I just made your life very difficult. It's not that difficult as it looks. It's very simple if you understand the process of how you're going to manage these trades, how you're going to take the trades, and how you're going to trade it. Trading is a process. And when you're taking a trade, there are processes you have to go through. The process of analysis, the process of what patterns you see, recognizing it correctly, the process of using a good strategy to trade it, what strategy you're going to use to trade it, and then the process of trade management. If you follow those processes correctly and you have very good processes to work with good rules in them, then your chance of winning has just increased enormously. If you don't have all those processes in place and you're just taking a trade, and I will see what happens. I hope it goes my way. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm praying to God. While you're praying for it to drop, somebody's praying for it to go up. So prayers are not going to help you unless you've got a bigger voice than the other guy praying for the opposite direction, right? So follow the processes. Understand what the process should be and follow them. That's what we do in our group. Like, we have specific rules. If it does this, then we do this. And if it does X, then we do this. So it doesn't matter what happens at any given point in time. We have a series of processes we're going to follow. That's what makes you a trader, right? It's not just learning one strategy. It's understanding everything, knowledge, and the power of it. So let's see, do we get that trade? Just like S&P 500 and US 30 and all of those. We know it was going to drop. I told you. See, it dropped. And I'm not telling you now after the fact. I told you yesterday, go check it. The webinar is there. If you missed it, watch it. And watch it again. Right? If you didn't get it, watch it until you get it. Watch it until you figure out why this guy think it was going to drop without knowing what's going to happen in the world. It's not like they give me a call and said, hey, be ready, it's going to drop. Well, if I had a call, I wouldn't tell you, but you get it, right? You don't have to know all of that stuff. Nobody's ever going to tell you. There's no website that will give away all of that. You will never have it. The charts have specific ways they behave. And if you still haven't got that, then you still have a lot to learn. So let's go. Silver. It kind of go up. You see that one? That one went up a little high. Like I said, if you want to buy it, once it comes break this top, you have to be careful. But that would have been a good trade. Now we're looking for this to come down. I think it's going to come down somewhat. We're looking for a short-term sell. It depends how deep this goes into the top. If this goes all the way to the top here and even tag the top or break the top, we'll take this off. Because it's going to come down, but it might come down like this and go back up. So you'll tag you and then go back up. This would be a flat. Will we get this? Is this all the correction or will we get another correction? And here is where it become interesting. Let's say this is all the correction. This should have been like that, not like this. So if this one is going like this and that is all the correction, then we will call that an A-B squeeze. And guess what the squeeze means? The squeeze means it's going to drop. If it's not, then I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, and go back up. So this is your first impulse. This is the consolidation. This is going to go back up. So let's go to the bigger picture. When you see that, you go to the bigger picture and said, well, if it's going to go back up, where will it go to, or what will happen? Well, not much, because this is your first impulse down, right? So you see, this was your first impulse up. See, this one came down. You see that consolidation it made there? Where do we think that was going to go? We think that was going to go down. But then when you get this, you're going to go up. So we got this one. This one is going to go. This should probably come back here and then go up. And when it goes up, guess what? It's likely going to come down, because this is not an up move. This is trying to tell us that this is a correction for one more down, because you're correcting in there. And it all depends on how this correction behaves. Now, the only difference that could happen with that is that this will probably come here and then go up a lot more to the top there. It will still come back here, but this time it's going to come like here for a flat and then go back up. See, that's how complicated it becomes. It can either give you a flat like this, or it can give you a flat like this. See, this one went up deep. Look how deep this one went back into this move. Pretty deep, right? So let's take the same move here. And let's say this one is to come here and then go back pretty deep into that. Remember what I just told you? It will come back here, but this time it's going to go up, because we would look at this as the flat in this move. So in this move, this became the flat. 1, 2, 3. And then what happened? It dropped. So what's going to happen to this one? We're going to go up. The deeper this comes back to the top, the more it's making a pattern with this piece. See how easy it becomes now? And then we would relook at this entire structure. Right? This pattern that we are looking at is based on the fact that this is the most corrective part right now. If this doesn't become the most corrective part, that changes the future bigger pattern we're looking at. So come back to the 1 hour. Wait here, go back to the 15, and we have a trade to the downside. And the reason this trade would be interesting is that if it goes, it can drop all the way to the bottom here, or it might just break this low. In that case, we'll manage it. So I wanted to go up some more, and then we're going to put this entry order here. We're going to wait for this to drop. It could probably go up a little more here. You want it to drop like this. Once it breaks that low, it should be a break even, because this could be a flat for upside. If I'm right about it, they'll probably go lower. It could make a correction and drop lower, make a correction, drop lower. You could take it out at each one of those corrections and re-enter. I will actually show you a chart that we're doing that with right now. You're closing at every correction and you're re-entering it. So let's see what happens here, right? Keep your eyes on this for the sell setup today. If it goes too high, we'll take it off. Now, you don't have to put it there. You want to move away a little from there, because you allow this pattern to finish. You don't want an expanding flat to drag you and take you up. So what I mean by that is you don't want this to come here, tag you, and then go back up. And this would be a nice little expanding flat, and now you're upside down with the trade. So you want to stay away a little from it until that pattern is completed, and then we're going to put it closer for now, right? So this will be a sell setup, or we're looking for a sell setup. The one I wanted to show you so you can see that pattern would be this one. You might want to type in English so that everybody understands you. There's a trader who type in Arabic. Not a lot of us here understands Arabic. So this is the one I wanted to show you when we were selling, right? So the first sell would have been this one, and then we sold it here, and you closed it here, you closed it here. Remember, when it came down here, you should have closed that trade, because it's going to go back to this top. It went higher, it came down. I had this entry order here if it was going to stop here and drop. But if you kept the entry order, or if you sold this one, it's good. When it comes here, you close the trade here, because it's going to consolidate and then it's going to drop again. You have an entry order under the low now. Now, if it goes up, you don't care. But what if it drops? This is the trade we're looking for today. And I believe we will get that trade. Today or tomorrow, I don't know, we'll get that trade. This one dropped really fast. They were pulled back. It doesn't look like it looked like it dropped fast, but there was a consolidation here. There was a consolidation here. There was a deep pullback there. See that pullback there? There was a deep pullback in here, and then it dropped to this one. Well, I think we have more pullbacks in this one. So I think this might be the final pullback before they drop. So this is a really good sell setup. You should have that entry order there. Well, I have the entry order, and I can't tell you what to do. And then we'll see where that goes. I'm expecting it to drop here. See? So with that said, let's go. We were in silver. Let's go to gold. Gold actually yesterday, if you took that trade, you got break even. I'll call it break even because remember again, what is the rule? The first pullback is not your problem. And I think when it pulled back, somebody panicked and went and leave a comment under the video yesterday. Gold. I don't know what he meant by that, but I felt that there was a panic in that voice of saying gold, which means, oh, look, it's going up. You got it wrong. I get a reason that I get a feeling that's why he wrote it. He didn't say like, hey, can you tell us what's happening with gold? He was like, gold, everybody look at gold. He got it wrong. I'm not here to get it right. The point of learning wave analysis is not to get it right. It's to understand what the structure is doing and how you would manage your trade. Now, I was in that cell. And guess what? I close it for positive break even. Because this first up move is never my problem. I don't panic when I see that. I have enough experience to know that this will come down back here and then close that trade. Goes up back. If you wanted to sell it, but I wouldn't sell this because that is inside of the big one, which means it's going to come here, it's going to go back up there and then drop. Well, it came a little lower, it'd go back up, and I'm expecting this to drop. Now, when all of that happened, we're going to be in this one. It didn't drop like this, but it's coming down like this. Okay, what does that do to the pattern? Well, how does that change the pattern? Well, since this is becoming the biggest consolidation, it makes this an impulse. It makes this an impulse. So if this becomes the biggest consolidation, the only question is how low does it come before you go back up, before you come back down, and then before you go back up. And how low does any one of these impulses will end up going? Because this is your first impulse up, and you also have a big impulse down. When you put it on the 4-hour and you look at it now, it's much easier for you to understand. That's consolidation. We're trading in a really, really tight consolidation. This is your impulse, and this is your impulse. So now we are about to make the first pattern that will eventually go back up and then come down. See? It's pretty easy. Right? It's not that difficult. So let's see. Come back here. Go to the 1-hour. And wait, let's see what happens here now. This is going to come down to do you have a sell setup? You'll have to look to see whether you have a sell setup. I don't think we have a sell setup. We're expecting a sell setup, but it's just kind of going up and down, which is not a sell setup. So we'll take that out and we'll wait. I'll put wait for a sell setup. If I get a sell setup, I'll take the trade. If I don't, then we'll just let it drop slowly and then look for the buy, right? I expect it to come back here, break that low, and then go up. Could this be the low? It could, but not possible. Very rare there, because I think this is the big flat and this one is going to work its way down slowly. Euro. Still going down, and it still has more downside in it because you're consolidating it. Now, we thought this was the correction. It looks like this was the impulse. It looks like this is going to be the bigger correction because this is probably going to drop, go back up, come back down, make a big flat here, starting to look similar to the one we have in gold. Go back up, break this top, come back down, make a flat, and then go back up, right? That's how we see this pattern developing. Let's see if that happens. It's not going to happen in the next 2 days, but you will see it eventually. And if we get something like that there, then we're going up, right? If you get a big consolidation like that happening in here, which means if this comes here and then come back here and you get a big flat here, this is your impulse up. This is going to continue to go up. And because we have this one here, we're eventually going to come back here. And because we got this one here, we're eventually going to go back up there. And maybe this would be part of the pattern, not necessary, but I think it will be. So we'll look at it like this. See, that's me showing you the future. Now, will it happen like that? I think we'll all see eventually. Each one of my weekly webinar that you join, you'll see how it happens. Right? So let's go back here now. And let's see if we have a trade for today. I think we're looking for a sell setup in the 15 minutes. Yep, I think we will get a trade. I wanted to go back up a little. That's good. If it goes up a little, that'll be good for us. I want us to go and break that top, go back there, and then we'll look for a sell setup. I would hate to sell it from here because we didn't break that up. So let it go break that up. It needs to go up a little more. I'll take this as an expanding flat. And I want this to go up like this. I put an entry over here, and if I get a flag here, that would be better. But if I don't, I'm looking for this trade to come and break this low. And then we'll see how low it goes before it come back up and drop again. So we might get a short sell today. Well, a short, I mean very short term. So I'm looking for a sell setup. Pound. I think the sells were good. This one pulled back. It kind of dropped. We're making a flat here. This is how we expect it to behave. We'll see. It's kind of do this. It's go there. It's coming back down. So that's a sell setup. I have a sell entry here, but I wouldn't advise any newbie to take that. I would not advise you to copy that because you see it's very short and it doesn't mean it's even going to come here. It could literally stop under this low and go back up. So that's a high risk trade. Right, then we're just assuming that this would be a running flat. This could already be an expanding flat. This could be the low and you go back all the way to the top. So all these pieces are not necessarily going to happen. Some of them might not happen. Like if this one breaks the low and start to go back up, you wouldn't get this piece and this piece. You just get an up move. That is this one. Right, so we'll see. I think it's going to be a little more complex. Then we were expecting this to make a flat like this. I think you're starting to see these flats making sense in euro, in pound, in gold and silver. You're starting to see that flat pattern there, which should go up, break the top, and then drop. This one is going to be a little different because if that happens and you go and you break this top, I'm expecting it to drop back all the way to the bottom here. I'm not expecting another flat like that because we have a lot of divergence. See that? So this might be the last impulse up before you come down. Tradable moment, yes, we're trading the pound already. We got a lot of profit on the pound this week. Right? If you didn't take any, go back and watch all the webinars and you would see that we did. So the question is, can we catch this trade up and this trade down for this week? Let's see. This one here, I'm not encouraging you to take it because it might not be going very far. Also, as a matter of fact, I'm not encouraging you to take any trade, right? Disclaimer, I'm not making trade calls. I'm showing you how I trade wave analysis. So you are here to relax and enjoy the view, right? Just get your coffee, your beer, depends what time of the day it is, relax and watch how I trade. That's all I'm inviting you to do. So this looks like it's going to drop. It might consolidate a lot in here, so be careful if you're taking that sell, right? So we've got a sharp move down. We've got a pullback. This could be all the correction or part of the correction. It could do like this and then go back up there, make a flat, and then go here and then go back up, right? We'll see what it does. But I think Aussie might have a lot more upside. Not necessarily all the rest, but Aussie could probably go more up. We do have a lot of divergence forming, so we'll see. This is very early to tell what it's going to do. So that sell there is this has to change. This was the buy yesterday, right? That was this buy here. Take that off. And we're looking for a sell setup now. It's a sell that is active, but it's very aggressive. So you'll have to know how to manage it. It's not, I'm taking the sell because I can manage it, right? So it's very aggressive. New Zealand, here's an easier one. It came to the top. Remember when I said you can take this, but when you come here, you can take the trade, but you have to be really careful because that's the point from where it can turn. And if it makes a flat here by going back up there, we will sell this, right? So this is very important because this is where you understand how wave analysis works. Go back and watch the videos while it was going up. And what I was telling you, that be careful as it gets to this point. This is the point from where it can almost turn. And the trend line had nothing to do with that. Don't blame the trend line. Don't say it's bouncing off any trend line. That trend line is irrelevant. That trend line is just showing us a possible pattern that could exist. It could break the trend line and still turn. It could not break the trend line and turn. So it's not turning at any specific trend line. It's turning because there is momentum that is fading in it, dying momentum. We have a bigger pattern that could complete itself there and either go down totally to the downside or make a bigger correction and still go back up. So there are many factors why that was an area where it could turn. And now we're going to see if we get a flat here. So all you want is you want this to go back up. You want this to go back up here. Make a nice little flat there. Put an entry under here. Put a stop here and go for that trade. Well, that's optimistic, right? That's very optimistic that it's going to drop like that. But remember, we have dollar news this afternoon. So if by this afternoon we can get it on the top there, we want it to take its time and go up. Great, that would be a good sell setup. Can you sell it now? No, you shouldn't, right? We actually saw the sell on this one, I didn't encourage traders to take this because I'm thinking, well, we still have this here. So I would like to see it go back up first, and now I have a good flat for downside. So let's see if we get it flat. That's a good sell setup, actually, because the bigger picture means it can go a lot downside. CAD, and the warning of taking this trade here. But if you took it, you got out for break even, right? That was an easy one to close for break even. So now we have two options again, as usual. One is this is actually what we think it is. That is this one here. That is actually an expanding flat, or that expanding flat is incorrect, and we're making a running flat here. And this is just a smaller correction of its own. That's just a smaller correction here. Drop, make a sharp pullback, come down with a lot of corrections in here, make a sharp pullback, and this is downside. Now, if that's the case, you actually have a sell setup. The sell setup should have been that's an active trade right now. Once it go back up, it broke the top. That's what we're looking for this morning. So if you want to take this trade, this is an active trade right now. You can actually put an entry order here now. Right? That is where the entry order should be. So you would have been tagged in this trade exactly now. And now you manage the trade. Right? So we'll put it in the 1 hour, and we'll wait for 2-3 hours to decide if to stay with the trade or if it's going to go. I think it's going to go. It's looking much more like the running flat, because this morning when we were in the Asian session, we wanted to see it was here, and we wanted to see if it's going to go back to the top. So we didn't put any entry order on, right? Because if this had gone back to the top, then it will come here and go back up. But since it stopped short of going to the top, which means it only broke that top and it's starting to drop, that means it's more likely downside. So if I'm taking this trade, I'll put an entry here and I'll put a stop here. Now I'll be watching it to see if it's trying to break out of this pattern. So if it stays here too long, I'll close the trade. If it drops, I'm in the trade. If it goes back up, I have to exit the trade. So my stop is here, but I'm trying not to get it to go there, which means if I don't think it's going to go, I have to get rid of the trade way too early. So let's go take the trade. I didn't have an entry order, so I'm just going to click the trade live, and we'll see where it goes from there. That is dollar CAD. Sell. Stop above the top here, right? That is 33.71. And then we'll see what happens to the trade. So we're going to manage that trade now, right? I think it's going to come and retest this low. So with an entry here and a stop there, I think we have a good 2-to-1 trade to go, should it go. If it doesn't go, well, then become a trader, manage it, learn to manage trades. Swiss, this is downside. It's not exactly going to go the way, this one is looking like you're making a flat here. So this one will take longer to go. It looks like we should drop here. We should go back up. We should drop again, and we should go back up. I think we stay away from that. Take this out and stay away from that. So this is an active sell. Take it out. This is an active sell. That one isn't. Yen dropped nice, and it's not going good. So if you didn't close it here, you may want to close it for break even now and put an entry order under the low. Right? So if you're in the yen trade and you didn't close it in here, which you should have, you may want to put it to break even, take it off for break even, and put an entry under the low. So I'll take this off and I'll put the entry under the low. You should not be in that trade, because you see this flat here. This flat here means it's either going to totally drop, or they can literally go make a new high and then come back. Right? They can make a new high and come back. I don't think we'll make a new high. It's not as impossible. I don't really think they're trying to go to make a new high. I think we'll just consolidate here and drop. Well, now it has to prove to me that it's going to drop, because if it doesn't drop, then I don't care. I'm not in the trade. Right? I have the entry order here. If it drops, I'll still be in the trade. The trade is to drop and come and break this low, so it's a really big trade. Euro yen. All the yen pairs you're looking for sell setups. This was the sell yesterday. If you closed it, you re-enter. The re-entry should have been here. So you may want to close it here again. I do think this one is going to drop more. So you can put an entry order here for a sell, which means I think there's a good chance this one is going to drop, come here, and then go back up. So let's see. EuroCAD. It's kind of doing what we expect. This was a very old trade. Let me take that off. It's kind of doing what we want it to do. It's going sideways slowly. This one didn't break out. See this one here? It didn't break out. It came down. So if that comes down, we will have to look at this as some kind of a contracting flat. Well, it's a small flat somewhere in there. Right, since it didn't break the top, we'll take that as all the consolidation. And this one is the equivalent of this coming down really, really slow. Don't forget to mute your microphone, guys. That is from the Zoom side, my traders. Right, so this now is looking like we're getting a flag there for upside. Right, remember we said this was going to do one. It's going to come here, break this top slightly, and then come back here. It didn't break the top. So the final one was probably the last one. Comes down here, and there's a chance we're going to go back up. We need to go back up there, come back down here, go back up there, and then we got this one for downside. So we'll give it some time, leave it. We don't have anything else. Take that out. Euros. Okay, so what's the big picture here? Let's go back to the 1 hour. This might be just a pullback. It's coming up, but we're still in this, right? So that might just be a pullback before it goes down. Let's see if we have any buy setup on it or any sell setup. Definitely, we don't have a sell setup. But do we have any buy setup? Not really. We also don't have any buy setup. But this came down like this, actually. If it consolidates here some more, we're going to get a buy setup. Right, if it consolidates. It's not consolidating and it's going back up, so we don't have any trade. I don't think I will buy on the break of this. That doesn't make sense. But if it comes back down, then we'll have a buy setup. So let's leave that out. You're in New Zealand. Okay, it kind of dropped. It's pulling back. We expect to pull back like this for a flat like this one with this here. See, when it dropped, that was a sell. It comes here. We told you we expect this to go here. That's the equivalent. Can it go higher? It can, but I still think we might get this flat. So from this point, we'll try to see if we can get a sell setup to go down, because one more down before it goes up. So the idea is this should drop one more at some point. This one here comes back down here, and then we'll be looking for the bigger upside. All right, how it complete this flat, and then go. What if that flat is incorrect? What if this is just going to continue to go? And this was the end of it because we did break that low. Where would it go to? What are we expecting in this to? We're expecting it to go back all the way to the top here. See? Like go back there. See, this one broke the low here and then turn. So we broke the low here. Can that be the turn? It's possible. Right? It might not make the flat I think I'm looking for, which is this one. This might belong to something else. So if I'm going to go with a buy, what should I wait? Wait for a correction that says you can buy. None of these things tell me I can buy. If it comes back here and then decide to go up, yeah, I'll buy it here. We'll buy that this afternoon, right? But if it comes here and do this, then we will be selling it to break the low and then go back up, right? So we'll see this. Good. And Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss is going sideways. I think we can all see this sideways happening here. It should drop one more. And then there's a chance it's going to go back up for this flat and then go. So we're not selling this unless we can get a sell from the top here. It wouldn't be worth selling. But when it goes back there, we can sell. Can we buy this one up? Maybe. It will be worth buying. So let's say we're making a big flat here and then we're going to drop one more. Let me take this out for now. Europong. Europong upside. If you got tagged in the trade to the upside, once this go a little, either move it or take profit, because we haven't got a pullback here. We haven't got this pullback. So if anything, this is a contracting flat. That means this will continue to go. So you put it to break even. When it goes some more, you put it to break. If not, it's going to be a running flat. What that means? That means that it could stop here and pull back like this and then go, making this into a running flat. See that possibility, right? So it's still upside. You don't need to worry very much. You can keep a stop here and then you'll put a stop here. And then when it comes here and go back up, you put a stop there, then put it to break even. So you're managing the trade. But I think it's more upside. Just be very careful with this pattern. Pounds. Okay, this thing is making a huge correction because we went there, we dropped, make a flat, go back up, come back down. This should come lower, but I don't think this is going to drop. Right? I don't think it's going to drop through this bottom here right now. So I'll be careful, take out this sell. The only thing you have to consider is if you want to sell this one here. And selling that could be a bit of a risk, because it might not break out of the low. It might just come back to the low here, stop and go back up. But this went up pretty high. And when they go up pretty high like that, like this one, when it goes so high, all of these moves that come down becomes a correction. So this could come down here, becomes correction, go back up there, make a flat and drop. So if you sell this, you have to be able to manage your way out for break even, should it not drop through the bottom. Can it drop through the bottom? Absolutely, because you can take this to be all the correction. So your sell should be here. You want to keep a stop here, but you don't want it to go back to take you out there, which means you'll have to manage. If it doesn't drop through the bottom, you have to manage it. So I'll take this off and I'll put a line. Once you come close to this, you have to get that to break even. So we'll put it as a sell. Pong yen sell setup, easy. See, I just told you about this, but the sell setup, let's see if it breaks through this low, and we're expecting it to come here. From here, we're going to go back up. Right? So remember when this was going up, what I told you, that this is the biggest flat, so we're going to come down back like this, and we're likely going to go back up like that, and then we're likely going to drop. Because from here, it means this will be going downwards. So let's see. Right? Let's see. This is the biggest flat. Let's see if that happens. It's coming here, and that's a good sell setup. Pound New Zealand. This wick doesn't exist. Oh, sorry. Let's see this one. Yeah. We can use this one because that wick doesn't exist. Let me take this out. We don't need that. Let's use this. Oh, did I take out the wrong one? Pound New Zealand. No, this one. Yeah, because that wick doesn't exist. See, it's a flat without a wick. So what we're doing here is we're making a flat to go up. So let's see if we can get the buy in this. This morning, it was at the top here. Yeah, it was at the top there, and I said we wanted to come down, and it's coming down. So let's see, we're going to take this off. That finished. This finished. Both of these finished, right? Assume that both of those finished. And now we're making a running flat. So I'm looking at this as a possible running flat here. Pretty easy. All you have to do is put an entry order here. If I'm right about that being a running flat, then this is going to go up. If I'm wrong about it, it's going to continue to go down, right? Let's say this was a small contracting flat. And this is a 1, 2, 3. And this is dropping. Well, to sell this, you will definitely need a flag. That's the only thing. You need a flag like that before you sell. You need a flag like this before you sell, right? So we really don't have a sell setup. If it's going to drop, we will need a flag somewhere. And since we don't have a flag, we don't have a trade. By the way, pound dropped. If you got a pound sell, you got to be careful with it now, right? Because that is from where it can go back up. That's the point from where the pound can go back up. So you have to be careful. Let me just show you the pound again. We're coming to the pound trade. See this pound drop off that. If you took that sell, get it to positive because it can go back up from right here. Now, if it goes lower, good for us. It can still go lower. You'll take profit. Right? That'll be a take profit area. But as of this, it can go back up from here. Put it to break even. So let's go back where the pound Swiss. I think the pound Swiss is the one we're doing. Nope. Pound something, pound yen. Pound yen, we finished. Pound New Zealand, I think we finished. Pound New Zealand, we're the pound New Zealand. So we can put an entry order there and see if this goes back up. That's the trade we were expecting. Should it go down lower, we'll have to get a flag. If we get a flag like this, we'll sell. Pound CAD. Yeah, this dropped already. We were expecting this small flag. It became a much bigger flat. It's a sell setup. It's going down. If you took the trade grid, that was a sell setup. This is a sell setup. Put it to break even. If you're in this trade, put it to break even. We can reverse really fast. If the pound should reverse, this would reverse. Pound Swiss. Okay, we're still in the consolidation, which means I expect this to go back up like that, make a flat here, and then drop. Right, that's what we're expecting. Could we get that trade? Let's see if it's possible. And can we buy it if it's going to go up that much? I think we can buy. We just need this to go up and make, and then we take the trade to the top here. You can actually use the last impulse, but we haven't broken this low yet. We need to go a little more, break the low, and then we'll use the last impulse. If not, wait for it to make a flag, and then you're going to go. Right? So the pound CAD sell is a good one. Right? This one is a good one. Let's see this one. This one, you see, this is not going anywhere. Wait for this to give you the buy setup. Aussie Swiss. Okay, it did go up. It did break the top. We did break the top. We came down. We have to go more down. So there's a sell setup here, but it's really short. By the way, if anybody got a sell from here or from here, that would have been perfect. Take your profit. We're going to get one more drop. We needed to drop one more like this. The trade we're looking for should be like this. So one sell here is a good idea. You can take, that was the top. Put the sell here. One drop, take profit. There's only one little problem with this. If this is not a contracting flat, then it's a running flat. Then it's a running flat like this. And that means this goes back to the top. Now, differentiate between the contracting flat and the running flat here might be difficult, but you know what could be a good trade? If you have the skill level to buy this to see if it goes there. Because if it doesn't go there, it will break the top and drop. So you have to get out. You can just leave it, let it go up there, and then we sell from the top coming down because we still have to get this. So if it drops, you get that trade. If it goes up there, then you sell from the top to get this trade and then go for the upside. It will complete the flat. So it's either it comes down now and complete the flat, or it go back up and then come down and complete the flat. So you will still get the sell, except you'll get a better sell. Buying it there might not be a good idea. So the question is whether we think it's a contracting flat or whether we think it's an expanding flat. In this case, expanding because we broke the low and we broke the top, right? So it's either this or it's that one. Which one? You don't have to know. Put an entry order for a sell here and you will eventually find out. So we're putting a sell setup, but that might not go, so no big deal. Aussie yen, good sell. Actually, this was the only one we had a buy setup on yesterday. I hope nobody got tagged there. Right, that was the only one we got a buy setup because if you got tagged, you'll have to either take a loss here or you manage to close the trade. Now it's becoming a sell setup. See, this is becoming a sell setup. We can't buy it until it go back higher. But should this drop again, that'd be a sell, and we'll put this as a big flat like this. This will be a running flat at the top there, a huge running flat. See, this will be your impulse. This would be an impulse up. This would be the correction, impulse up, running flat. So you have 1, 2, drop, make a flag, keep dropping. Let's see. Is there a possibility that thing could keep coming down? It's possible, but there's a very, very high probability we're going to go break that up. So the upside also looks real, except we don't have a buy setup. See, this pattern looks like it's real and that we could go up there, but we don't have a buy setup. So we'll wait until it go up more, make a flag, and then buy. Aussie CAD, let's see, this one came down some more instead of going up, so we still have to go up. I still think, oh, it could come down from there. In that case, we'll look at this as the flat. Come down here and then become the flat for upside. So it's making a flat. If it didn't break the top, it's going to break the low. So if you get a sell setup, that will work. We don't have a sell setup. You need a flag to sell. You don't have a flag. And this doesn't really look like a running flat, so we'll wait. If it does make a flag anywhere, we sell it to come and break the low. Canadian. Okay, Canadian also looks upside. If you took this trade here, you should have closed it there. If you didn't put any pullback here, close it. Because there's a good chance this is trying to go back and make a new high and then come down. Right? So it not much of a consolidation here, as you can see. It just consolidated a little and it's going up. So not a really good sell setup. We'll wait. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay. If you're tagged in this and you close it, you did the right thing. If you didn't, just watch, expect this to still go. But if you close it and you put an entry order above the top, then that is perfect. That's exactly what you should have done because we broke out of it and we're making a flag here, which means upside. Remember when it was dropping, we were telling you that this is going to go back up? Well, it's going up and now we'll see where that goes. That should go all the way to the top there. So that buy is a good idea. Put an entry above the top there. This is actually a good one. This could take off really fast. New Zealand, yeah. Sell setup. Right? This one, bro. Yesterday, this had a buy setup. It did go break the top. We didn't buy it, but it did go break the top. It dropped. You get a flag here, drop, come here, and then go back up. So we're looking for a move down like this, which is this here. And then we're looking for a move up like this. Let me take this and spin it around like that. Looking for a move up like this before we go down. So you can take this and put it here. Let it come here, go back up there, and then drop. So this is a good sell setup right now. Move that into an active sell. Come on. Okay, it's giving me the green, orange. Good, let's go. New Zealand CAD. It's coming down, nothing new. We expect this to come back down. It's also going to go back up. So if you get a flag here, if it pulls back, give you a flag here, you can sell it to come here, but then it has to go back up like this. This would be the flat. This would be 1, 2, 3. Come back down like this, 1, 2, 3, and then upside. So it's coming down. Look for a sell setup. You definitely get a good trade, and then we look for a sell. Look for a sell setup. We don't have a flag. New Zealand, Swiss. Okay, we broke the top, and then we're coming down. So if you took that trade, consider you're going to get a loss. Your stop for this trade should either be here or here. If this go back up, close the trade. Don't let it come here, because it's going to come, and that's a sell setup. You actually have a sell setup here now, right? That looks like a small flag, which means you're going to track this, how high it goes on the 15, and then close it. And you want it to go a little more, maybe a little more up, and then you're looking for running flat here for a downside. So this has become a sell setup here now. It could go a little more. And then that becomes a sell setup for downside. See? So for all you know, we might be in a big running flat here. We might not be actually going down, right? This could be 1, 2, 3. I don't know if this week is even real, right? So in any case, it's still 1, 2, 3. And this could be this one coming down, one more here, and then go back up. So I'll leave it like this for now because we did break the top, so we'll see. CAD Swiss. Okay, put an entry here, wait for this to drop, and we'll see how far that goes. Right now we've got this one up, this here, this one up. It looks like you make a flag. If this goes break the top, we'll have this here. We'll be in this, and then we look for a trade from here down. Or if this drop from here, you want the trade. So that sell setup is good. And we're expecting one more drop before we go up, right? So one drop from here to the bottom here and then go back up. That's a good sell setup. We should go with it. Swiss yen. Well, if you sold, you're probably still in the trade, or you can put the break even. Because this was the first pullback, you wouldn't have got any choice in there. It would come down, and now it's here. And this looks like a sell. So if you close it here and you put an entry under the low, that's a good idea. That still looks like a sell setup. That should come back to about here and then go back up. And let's see. Okay. Pretty much like this. I think we're getting a flat here. It looks like a buy setup. I'm not sure the buy would go very far. Right, this here looks like a buy setup. I don't like the buy because we have this sharp on here. So which means if it just comes here, it could still come back here. So I'll ignore the buy. I'll take these out. Those were sells that worked well. This was a sell that is break even. And now we're getting a buy that I don't really like. So we'll wait some more. That whole piece is too many sharp pieces. This sharp piece, this sharp piece. So I'll just let it come back to the top here and then we look for a sell setup. At this point, it will be good to remind all of you to join us this afternoon. Make sure you come because there will be a chance to win a 15K account on one of the funded accounts. It's called, I think it's Funded Next. They're giving away 3 accounts, 1 this afternoon and 2 tomorrow. You may want to join all those sessions. You'll increase your chance of winning one of those free accounts. Right? So we'll come there, right? Let's go. Pound what? GUBREF. Oh, I don't know what is that. Let's finish the webinar and then we'll go to that. So let's go. I just reminded everybody who come because some people, when we finish Forex, some people leave. They don't stay on for these because they only trade Forex. We noticed that in all the webinars, there's a peak at the end of Forex trading, and then some people leave because they don't record. That's okay. Right? I don't think you should leave. I think you should stay on and watch patterns in these because patterns will help you, right? So this one is making a flag here, which means I think it can drop one more, but it's going to go back up. So rather than try to sell it, look for a buy setup. I'll just ignore the sell and we look for a buy setup. And I'll take that off. We look for a buy setup up to go back to the top. So if this has to drop, let it drop one more, and then we start looking for the buy. US oil. Okay, it came down, so we can go with this as a running flat. Remember I said you wanted to come down like this to make a running flat. Now we've got a perfect buy setup. Put an entry above the top. And let's see if it takes off. It will confirm the running flat. That is what will confirm the running flat. Because it can still drop here, right? And then we'll be making a flat here rather than the running flat. But if it's the running flat, then this could literally take off now. Can it drop some more? Yeah, it probably can, but I don't see the sell setup there as yet. US 30. I think we did all of these. Wait for flags to buy. So I'm going to put wait for flag to buy, wait for flag to buy, and wait for flag to buy, right? I think we actually did this. These work perfect. If you were here yesterday afternoon, you would know the forecast. We made them then. If you weren't here yesterday afternoon, go watch the webinar. Make sure you watch those webinars. And you should watch the entire webinar because there's a lot of things inside of it that, you will learn. And if you just skip and watch one piece, you'll miss all of that. So Tesla. Okay, this is coming down, right? This arrow was here for a while, right? When it was going up here, I was like, I don't think this thing is going up because I don't think this is only correction. So look for a sell setup. It was going up, and I'm insisting on you that you probably want to look for a sell setup. If we're going to buy it here, we need a big correction to confirm the upside. Well, it's coming down. Guess what? Wait for a flag and sell it. Let it prove it's going down now because we don't have a flag. That's the top coming down there. There was a flag here, but you wouldn't sell that. Now you need a flag, and you sell it to go back all the way to the bottom. See? It will make a flag. It always does. And that's your trade. So you can look for a sell setup. This one, it's coming down. That would have been a sell. I hope you're out of it. It's still going to drop some more. I think there will be some more drop. But I don't like the fact that it's coming down. This one had just one pullback. There's a lot of pullback in here. So be careful with it. It's coming down. It could get, it could get worse than that. But if you were in this trade, you should have closed it. See how long it went sideways there? That's a lot of hours. This was a lot of hours. Let's put in the 1 hour. Yeah, that's a lot of hours to be in the trade and don't close it. Right, my trader, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. You should not stay in a trade that long. That is not going your way. So it's probably still a sell. Probably still a sell here to drop one more. But now this could be a 1, 2, 3 that goes back up, make a new high, and then come down. Still possible, right? We'll stay with the sell for now. Okay, that was good. This came here. It's going up. Let's see what we have. It could go up now. We did break this low, right? We broke that low. This could go up. This would have been a buy, but it's too small, so I wouldn't buy it. Here's what we're going to do. Let it come and break out of this. Let this go up some more and make a flag here, and then we'll take that trade to retest this stop. That'd be a better trade. Right now, it can still drop. This can still drop. We don't have a sell setup, though. Okay, look for your buy setup. It actually did drop. Now you have this one. You have this flat. I'll take this out. I'll put it here. You have that flat. 1, 2, 3. Right? We're going up for this one. We're going up for that move. So this move is going to happen. And then there's a chance it will pull back here. You get this. And then look for your buy. So buying here is a little dangerous. If it's going to go up here and make a flag here, then we'll buy. Let me erase all of that. If this is to go up here and make a flag, only then we buy. But I think it's going to go up there, come back here, and then we look for a buy setup here to complete this pattern. So let's see. It's a buy setup in any case. Nifty. Yep. Nifty starts pulling back. So now you want this to be a flat. You don't want them to go back up. You want them to stay in this range here. If it stays in this range, it's a sell. If this goes back up here, it will come back here and then be a buy. So right now, I think we wanted to stay in this range, and that would be a perfect sell. So I'll take this off. Bitcoin. Okay, it went a little higher. This didn't break, so let's take that off. But it's making another flag here, see? And that means I'll move the sell to this point. Because this could still be a flat for downside, right? This here could still be a flat for downside, which means that this could still drop here. So you want to keep your eyes on the sell. ETH, it's more of a sell setup than a buy. It's just going sideways. But that looks more of a sell than buy. XRP, pretty much the same thing. You bought that, it's not going anywhere. You should take out that trade, you shouldn't keep it. And it's kind of going sideways, but it looks more downside right now. This looks like it could drop. So if you get a flag here for a sell, go for it. If this here becomes a flag for a sell, go for that trade. But this is more like a 1, 2, 3. We had the same thing here, 1, 2, 3. This has a correction. So you might be going for a running flat. We could probably look at this as a possible running flat. So should this drop, that will confirm the downside. I think that's a good sell setup. Put an entry order here to sell. Put that as a sell setup. ADA. This could go up more. This consolidation could take off, break the top. So that's a buy setup. BNB already a buy. It's a good buy here. It was a good buy here. But this is where you have to be careful. Now from that point, we expect it to come down back like this. So the buy is over. Now you'll be looking for a sell setup. I'll take this off and you'll be looking, you wanted to turn, make a flag and sell. It could still be a running flat. Okay, this is downside. It's going to consolidate here some more, but then downside. Dot. This is a good buy. If you took that entry, it's going well. It will break this top and then we'll see what happens from there. It could still go higher, right? This one has a lot to go, so keep your eyes on it. AVA, upside. If you bought this, you're doing well. You can wait for flags and buy. So we didn't buy this because we have to watch it, but it's breaking out of this structure. So if it breaks out of that structure, it means we'll assume that it's not doing that. You wanted to make a flag here. And then go. And link. It's more of a sell setup. Although we were expecting it to go up, it's not going up, so it'll probably drop one more. It could drop one more, so keep your eyes on that. I'll go. Kind of sideways, nothing much, just stay out of it, and this one. Okay, this broke out. So if the entry here would have been a good one because you did make a pullback. So if it goes good, but if you're here and it's tagging you, wait for this to pull back here and then take the trade. Right? There's a good chance we're coming to break this top and maybe much higher. So wait for it to pull back and then go for the trade. That's it. We just completed everything. I know it takes a very long time, more than an hour. But that's it. So what we're going to do now is I can take a couple of minutes, take some questions from you, and relook at charts that you want to look at. The pound yen shoes, it didn't break out as yet, but it's going to go. The pound dollar broke out. You have to be careful with the pound dollar now because at this point it can go back up, right? Okay, Vic, thank you for giving them the clarification. You want to actually put the correction. Well done, Pasha. I'm not sure who is Pasha and why. Well done, Pasha. So I think that is one of the trolls, actually. USD cat sell. Okay, let's go look at USD cat sell. Nope, I would. You took the sell already, unless you took this sell here already. If you're in the sell, then yes, it's going good. That sell. I'm in the sell. Thought you're looking for a sell here. So that sell is going good. We took it live in the room. You can't say you didn't know it wasn't going. It's going good. I like it. It's still going. So let's see. We're going to see how far it goes. As long as it's going in my direction, slow or fast, I really don't matter, right? I think that is in our group, one of the traders who just saying it's going slow. Right? Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's not actually going slow. You know what would be slow was if it's pulling back every candle. This thing is kind of going. That's a little pullback. This could drop, make a little. This is fast. Afterwards, you'll see it like this moving really fast. What is slow is this. This is what I call slow. That is what I call slow. This is moving. So it's still relatively fast. It's just that when you look at every candle, it looks like it's not moving, right? That's okay. We'll see where it goes. We still have the chance to manage it. So don't worry about that. Okay, we'll come back by this afternoon. You'll see what happens to that trade. We'll tell you what we did with it. If you're in the trade, you need to know how to manage it. So what else? That means the pound card dropped like crazy, right? The pound card should have been the trade you take. Okay, this one went really nice. And this one will probably continue to go. Oh, welcome, Dennis. So Dennis is a newcomer to our trading room. You will have access twice daily. So good job. And we have quite a few people who took the opportunity to join, and they will get access to the live sessions for January. And for those who take the opportunity to pay 100, they'll get access to January, February. We'll give you 2-month access. So let's see. Okay. Anyone else? So that's for any questions, anything? GUBRF, what is that? Let's see. GUBRF. Okay, the top one. I'll go with the top one. Let's see. Okay, this chart needs probably the daily chart to look at. Is these dots correct? I'm not sure what this, okay, yeah, you have to look at these charts on the weekly chart.
The dots are correct. The actual price is 236, I think.
Talking about a running flat in progress, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, let it come here and then look to buy it. Wait for the turn to buy. You follow? This is what? Some stock of some company?
It's a stock.
So let it come down. Don't ignore the drop, let it come here, and then when it gets a turn, you buy it. Right? That would be a nice one. So if I were you, I'd let it come all the way to the bottom here. And then wait for the turn in the 1 hour. You'll need to pay for the 1 hour chart most likely. So you can see the 1 hour turn, and when you get the 1 hour turn, you'll be looking for it to go like this. We are back to the top. It probably will go slow, but it will go shortly. It can be more complicated than that, than a simple 3-year structure, but the next one will still be up. Right?
Thank you, Anil.
You're welcome. The Euro Polish currency, let's see. I think I had that somewhere. Okay, let's put that on. EURPLN. I think that's it. PLN, yes. Come, guys, any other thing you want to look at? Oh, that was a nice sell. I could see a sell set up there. I don't know when I looked at this the last time, but I can see that sell set up to drop. Worked well. Okay, let's see. Possible running flat. Maybe I'll probably put this as a possible running flat in there. For downside, where are we going on the bigger picture? Oh, this is easy. Come on. This is pretty easy. And it works like magic every time. See? So that was the sell to come down to the bottom here. You would have closed it here. It went up. It's still coming down. I think we could make an argument for a possible running flat in that piece, and this should continue to go. Look for sell setups. Go in the 1 hour and look for sell setups. Oh, you don't want to trade this on the 1 hour. But actually, nice sells. These were nice sells from the top there, right? If you're looking at it like that. Probably the 4 hour might be a better one. Isn't this amazing, right? See? Kind of dropped here. And you had a lot of time to close and re-enter and all of that. And you're getting a sell setup here forming right now. This was really sharp. So if it doesn't belong to this in the past, not necessarily that it belongs to this. This could be something of its own. See, this could be a whole correction of its own. It doesn't necessarily have to be something like that. So you might get one of this in the future. There's a good chance you get another deep pullback and then you drop. Could be more complex than that. But look for sell setups in the bigger pictures going down. More downside, definitely. It's trying to repeat this move down. See, that had pullback, it had pullback, it had a lot of pullback in it, so there will be a lot of pullback on the way down. I think we got this one perfect as well. This one here. To the upside. So yeah, it makes sense. The US, Polish, let's see. I think it's USD. Should be USD PLN. We could use this one. I don't really like this one. I should have chosen a wonder, but let's see. Oh, we did this. I think we did this before. We had this sharp move here. It broke the top, right? So we had this move already. So we're thinking when it comes here, it might go back up. So you have to watch it carefully here because of this piece. I think because we had a lot of sharp pieces here and we're trying to decide which to put with which, right? Which one is going to go with which. So there's a chance that when it comes here, it goes back up and then come down for this one, right? So either it's over and now it's going down, and then we will decide how to fit this piece in here. I don't see this one fitting with anything much. Right, this could be a standalone. This is sharp, so this one might go with this. And then we will have to go with this one being this one, and then go back up and then come, yes. So keep your eyes here for any reversal patterns that might happen at this point. There's no reversal pattern as yet, but should it happen, you want to keep your eyes out for that. See, this was sharp, it dropped lower, and then it went back up. So this was sharp, it could drop lower and then go back up. So keep your eyes on a sharp move up first. That could happen. We did this before, so we'll see. I don't know if it was coming down when we did it, or if I think it probably was here, because I can see that I have a flag. So that would have already happened, which means it was coming down. And this was not there. If this was there, I would have actually put it like that. But the mere fact that I put it from this point, it means this was not there. It was coming down. So you should have sold it to here and then go back there. I just know how I do my analysis, what I look for, right? So that would not be there. In any case, good. Keep your eyes on it. Okay, guys, anything else before I go? Any other questions you guys have? China 50. Is there a quoted or just China 50? You want the CFDs or you want the you could
index
use
from the China. It's
the index cash, right? This one here?
Just this one from here.
First, second, third. This one you want?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's see. So it's CN50. Okay, this is all you have? That's all the chart?
Yes.
It's not a lot, but this would have, I think I would have gone with this as some kind of a flat in here. And this one is another smaller flat in here. So we're coming down, and that means there's some pullback to happen. So I'll go to the daily. So this was a good correction. This was a good correction. This was a good correction. This is not such a good correction. It's relatively sharp. So there's a good chance that this at some point goes back up there, make a running flat, and then drop. You follow? So this coming down like this, you would eventually start looking for a buy setup in it. I would look for a buy setup because all the rest are clear corrections. Like this is a clear one, this is a clear one, this is a clear one. This is very sharp. And you have a lot of corrections here. So what I would look for is this going back up, making a running flat, and then go down more. Euro USD coming down, slowly but surely. CAD make a pullback, don't worry about the first pullback. Now you will manage the trade. So let's go to Euro USD. It's kind of coming down on the 15. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, we expect this to come down, but I don't think this is the sell you want because there's going to pull back again. Right? You don't really want to sell. This sell is going to hard to manage and it will pull back. See this sharp move here. So when it comes here, it's going to go right back up. Then be careful. So CAD is coming up. And before any one of you panic, remember what happened to gold yesterday? And I told you I got out for positive. So we're going to do the same thing here. This is going up. That's just the first candle. Now, I will pull a line like this. And if this is not a running flat, this thing is going to go straight through to the top. I have a stop here, which is the limit to where I think I'm going to go. But I don't want to get out of that stop. I actually want to get out like this. There are two things this thing can do. It can go to the top here, and then it can break, and then come back as a flag, which will be my exit strategy and my buy setup. Right? The exit and the buy, which means this stop loss will not get tagged. I'll either come out here, here, or maybe here. Depends on if I get break even, I'll take break even. Or it actually drops back to the bottom like this, and then don't worry about it. Come and take the low. See? Or it makes a consolidation here, and then I close it in the consolidation, and I have a new entry here. So come New York session, you will see me do it, as well as you'll have a chance of winning an account. Euro New Zealand flat complete. Let's take a look at that. Yep, it's pulled back, so we can assume that it's going to go now. That is if we take this to be the flat, right? We take this to be a running flat. Let's see. Let's see if we get a buy setup now. You can put an entry order above the top, right? You can put an entry order. Remember, it could still be this, right? If it's this flat we're talking about. So now we have two options. This is a running flat for upside, which means what you can do right now is put an entry order here. If that is a running flat for upside, we're going to take off for this bigger move to the upside. If we're still making this running flat, which means this was a small pullback in here, this was a small pullback and we are trying to go down, you need a flag here before you sell. You want to exclude the possibility of a running flat for upside. So put an entry there for the buy, but that will change as soon as you get a flag here. How long would a flag take? Let's give it 3 hours, right? So if it gets 3 hours for the flag, then we look for a sell setup and we take off the buy. So I want to make sure that it's not a running flat for upside. I can put the entry out and I'm not worried about that entry. That entry is pretty safe. So US oil. Let's see what happens with oil. This could be two things, either this running flat that I like, or this might be a correction for downside, right? Do we want to sell in this if it's going to go down? It's not a great sell setup, but if you want to go aggressive and see if you can get the sell, you'll have to put an entry order somewhere here and see if it drops through that bottom. Right? It's kind of a, it's a very aggressive sell. That stays there if it is a running flat. So don't take off this one. Right? If this goes up all the way, that's a running flat. So the aggressive sell, you really have to have, you have to know how to manage this. Should it tag you and start going back up? No flag and it's going up. Well, patience. Because when you jump in is when it starts to correct, right? When you jump in with no flags, then is when it starts to make the flag. We can agree on that, right? That the minute you click buy, you will start to see it correct. Like the cat, right? You click sell and then you watch it. Oh my God, it's pulling back, right? It's going to correct, don't worry. US 100, I think that's the NASDAQ you're talking about. There is no best price, you wait for structure. Martin, we don't trade by price. We trade by structure. So when I get the buy setup, then I'll take it, regardless of where that happens. Right? Because I'm not trying to guess at what price the structure will formulate, since we're not based on price itself. We're based on the structure. So when I get a consolidation, then I look for a buy setup. But just buying it because it's going up is not a great idea. It's a good reason why a lot of people lose their accounts. Because here's the thing. People who buy here because it's going up would have bought here because it's going up, right? This was going up, right? So they would have bought there, and then I think we know what happened to their account at this point. Right? So just buying because something is moving is not how we trade. It's called wave analysis. So join us more often. You will probably see. We still have 3 more free sessions, 1 this afternoon, 2 more tomorrow. And then you have the opportunity to join us and watch how we trade live. With no panic inside, right? Absolutely no panic. Very quiet. See, CAD went up and everybody, oh, well, what happened to the CAD? Look, it's going up. And I'm like, okay, relax. The goal yesterday made some people panic when it went up. And I was like, okay, relax. It's going to come back down. Why worry? And when you understand what the chart is doing, it makes you trade with a calmness that, you know, I'm not sure I have that one that you're asking for, but in any case, it doesn't really matter where you look at it. As long as the ruble is not a freely traded currency, you're not going to get the right results in it, right? So let's see what you're looking for. Is that on Trading View? One more. This one would work, the top one. Okay, let's see if the top one will work. But as long as it's not freely traded, the results is manipulated, it wouldn't give you the real thing of what the value is, right? So, and it will still have a chart because it's still moving, right? But it's still being manipulated, and manipulation are less predictable, right? You will have patterns, but the manipulation could happen at any point, and you know it could happen really fast, and you might not get a chance then, like when normal trading is happening. So we have a 1, 2, 3 here. We got a flat 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This come down. This looks upside. What's the bigger picture? Let's see. The bigger picture looks downside. It looks like we broke out of this and we're trying to go down. So if this stays here as a consolidation, it will be a sell. This is the impulse. This is the correction. So what you want to see is where you get a sell setup. Rubles should get strong. And this is not enough to say it's getting strong. So you want to see what this does. Come here, come back here, go back up there, something like this. And if you get that, then you can look for rubles to get strong. Right, but you want to wait for that consolidation to actually prove it's a good consolidation. Because if I'm going to trade ruble, I want to make sure I have a solid one, right? A solid pattern, not just like I would do in any other charts, right? Where I'll risk it at a 15 minutes or so. Because you know this is manipulated currency. Right? So good. If you did that exactly, well done. Good job. See? So if you get that, perfect. Go for it. Rubles are going to get stronger. So, okay, guys, anything else before I go? Okay. Thank you all very much for coming. See all of you this afternoon. Make sure you invite your friends. I know it's a disadvantage for you to invite your friends this afternoon. But hey, you never know. The more people you invite, the more you might get lucky, right? The more you might be blessed and being the one that win the account. So see all of you this afternoon. Take care. Trade with care. Bye. Thanks for coming. Let me stop.